Hey there, this is Kermit the Streamer doing a quick update on the Witch Minion build here. So yeah, I forgot about a cool thing. So the whole thing that I was having trouble with the skeleton snipers was that I didn't understand how to command them to do their poison gas arrow attack. And when I would use the tilde key, the key that I thought was bound to that particular command, it wasn't really doing anything. But then I remembered that I ran into the same problem with my ranger, and then I've got an ability called Plague Bearer that allows me to store up my poisons and do a Plague Nova. But then you can't assign that skill in the normal way to your skill bar. Like normally I would go, oh, I want to put flame wall in my thing, and I would just go drag it into a hotkey area there, and then I go, okay, now when I hit Q, flame wall will do. But they actually did a really cool thing with the skill things here down here. So when you can't do that with, say, a skill like the skeletal sniper, see, I'm clicking it, I'm dragging it, nothing's happening. You can come down to the actual letter and you can click on it, and it'll tell you what things you can assign to that key. Well, one of the things I can assign to F, if I want to, is gas arrow. And this is going to be pretty critical here. You got to realize I got to level 32 on my Infernalist without knowing how to properly do this. So I can't be the only one. I mean, I know I'm a big idiot, but this is super important. I mean, gas arrow is huge. Like, when I started using gas arrow on my ranger, I wasn't before. My power level just skyrocketed, all through the use of this one skill. Now I had to upgrade it. It needs to have for the ranger at least. It needs to have armor breaking ability and stuff like that. But this is going to be a sea change thing for my necromancer, because I'm going to be able to pop that gas arrow down. I'm going to be able to put extra poisons. So I'm going to be doing my corrosion damage from contagion, my contagion damage, which is curse damage, and then I'm going to also have a poison ailment that's going to be hitting at the same time. So it's just going to be dropping my enemies a lot faster, and once I get to my Hellhound, then I'll be able to blow up those gas clouds to do insane amounts of damage to the armor melted enemies that are going to be facing those explosive outputs. So this is just a good reason to make this video, is just to talk about how subtle, seemingly simple changes to your build can lead to some pretty drastic outcomes. I just want to see here. We did decide that we're going to go main scepter focus. I think that's going to be what we do with this character. We may change our mind. I want to review the skill tree here. I'm going to get these increased life pops too, and I'm also going to really think about getting there's a timer delay for the minions. I was doing some sleuthing on the internet and saw some other things. So we got, yeah, here, the revive timer. Now, one of the problems with the game currently is that instead of being like a wave timer, whenever one of your minions dies, it starts a clock, right? 7 seconds, I think, is what it's at when you're starting out. And the problem is that's just when one of your minions dies, right? So let's say you've got several minions. When one of them dies, the timer starts, and then when another one dies, the timer resets. So you can get into a very real situation where your minions are kind of permanently dead. Now, decreasing that timer some degree is great, but it's still kind of I would say, bordering on like a bug or a problem with the game, that you can get into a state where your minions are permadeath. And that makes it really kind of shaky to have a build that's based on your minions. Now, I kind of look at the witch and I go, well, wait a minute. What's going on with the witch is that you're using your minions for wave clear, for level, for getting through the levels, and then you're using your personal abilities to handle bosses. So yeah, the minions are there helping out, and there might be some synergy there, but it's not really supposed to be that your minions are, taking the bosses for you and everything. So, I don't know. I do think that's a thing that they should fix. I hope it is. Everybody's talking about it as a thing that they should fix. But for the time being, that does mean I think that these minions revive faster abilities are kind of pretty critical. It's just going to lower that timer that your minions are idle. We're eventually going to get to the point too where we're blowing up our own minions, like kind of mid to late build. So it's going to be important, I think, to at least kind of be aware of where those nodes are in the skill tree, and make sure that we do, like, just be mindful of them, and try to build towards them. I'm just really curious now as far as what other fresh minion abilities there are. Yes, we've got a revive node here, living death. Got a revive node here, restless dead, and then I think over here is going to be some good stuff for us too. The maximum life is really interesting because of all of the abilities that care about how much life the minions have. Like, we noticed one of those the other day, the minion instability. Like, the amount of damage that the minion instability does is directly dependent upon the maximum life of the minion. So anything you can do that boosts your minion life will also boost the damage from something like instability. So it is a little awkward in that we've got a strong desire to get out into this node, and then we've got a strong desire to get out into this direction. So like, that's a weird split. And then there's this area here that's got a lot of stuff for our minions. Some minion regeneration here. I kind of think that that's not what you want to be doing. Like, if you're counting on your minions dying and doing something when they die, it seems to me like maybe you don't want that. But we definitely want to get over here, and I think the path to make this happen is either to come over from the top here with these attribute nodes and then just sneak down into here to living death. Don't know if we necessarily want this minion life. Maybe we do though. Maybe we get our minion life over this way and we just ignore these two nodes. Damage, attack, and cast speed are pretty good. Physical damage. I'm gonna veer away. I'm gonna try veering away on this character from critical hit and critical chance. I'm gonna try to just focus on things that increase my base damage. One of the things I noticed with my other character is that stacking your critical hit chance is not additive in the way that you might think. So if you pick up like a 5% crit chance, a 10% crit chance, a 20% crit chance, it's not additive in the so if I picked up a 20, a 10, and a 5, I would think, oh, cool, now my crit chance is up to 35%. No, it's 10% of what you already have. So if your base crit chance is like a 13 to 17, somewhere in there, or let's just say 15, when you get a 10% crit chance bonus, that's only adding 1.5%. So you have to really stack the hell out of it before you actually get any real gains there. And so crit hit chance, like, that's great and all, you know, it is going to be pushing that needle, and I do think that long term it ends up being pretty cool. But by the same on that same token, adding your crit damage stuff is like, it's less good. Like, if you're able to get anywhere near like even a 50% crit chance, oh, it's great, it's fantastic, that's amazing. But if your maximum is floating somewhere between 30 and 40% crit chance, it just doesn't seem like it's worth it when you could get guaranteed increase on your baseline all the time and still have, you know, a relatively, you know, instead of a 1 in 3 chance of crit, a 1 in 5 chance of crit. 1 in 5 doesn't seem that much worse, really. Now, you know, this is talking about this from the perspective of somebody who only has a max level 30 character. Once you get up to the 50, 60 range, you might be able to do some combination of talents. You know, your weapon, you're going to get some of your crit chance from weapons and other things that I just don't know about yet. But it just really seems to me like the way to go, especially at the rate at which I've been playing, with the time I've devoted to playing. It's going to be just increase your baseline. So that's really all I wanted to talk about here. Is we're gonna be kind of really looking towards this node and this group of nodes over here. We might jog over here to get this early minion revive. I think that's the earliest possible minion revive you can get, and I really do. I think the path to that, you know, I do like the increased cast speed. So I'm thinking that either the path for that is through these attribute nodes or maybe over here. And I do like this here because we get an early boost to our intelligence. Intelligence is going to be super important to our skill gems. Not so much because of the support bonus, but because as you rank your skill gems higher, they have increasing intelligence needs, and the minions get ridiculously stronger when they're higher leveled. So I think we're probably going to do a temporary diversion. We might go up. We might at least get this Power of the Dead if we didn't already. Yeah, we didn't already. We'll get Power of the Dead, and then we'll go over here to Living Death, I think, in this early stage of the game. That seems like it's good. So, yep, I'm going to sign off now. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comments. And please like and subscribe. I'm hoping to get this channel really up and rolling. We might do some other builds. We might really do some deep dives into the different ascendancies and stuff. I mean, I don't have as much time as some power streamers do for this kind of stuff because I have a life. But I would like to have some stuff for you in case you're interested in checking this game out. I think it's really fun. Thank you, and have a great one.